Okay, got another one. I was reading in Genesis chapter 39 because I've been reading the story of Joseph over again and was really surprised, maybe even shocked to find the word supervisor. So Joseph went from being a steward of Potiphar's house to a supervisor. Now the King James says overseer, which sounds a little better. The supervisor is a pretty modern word. I guess it came out in the Middle Ages, about 13 to 1400s. But I just thought that was a little too modern, and I don't remember this ever saying that. I remember steward. But kind of makes you wonder with all the stuff going on with their surveillance system they're trying to set up, if maybe that's why. Maybe God's going to give us a heads up about, supervisor. That kind of reminds me of something like that. That's just a theory of mine. But anyway, if you go over to the NIV, it says attendant, if I can find it again. I had it right there. Had it marked. Where did it go? Oh, it's way up here. That's where it is. So yeah, it says he became his attendant, which makes a lot more sense than supervisor. Not quite such modern language. I don't know if you can see that or not. But then I went over to the Geneva Bible, which I got a copy of that on the internet, which has been a really interesting Bible to read since it's like from medieval times. And instead of saying supervisor or overseer, it actually says ruler of his house, which I'm kind of wondering if that was what the original was. But anyway, so I thought that was interesting. And I also, later on in the text, I don't know if this is something, I think he was supposed to go and get his father once they were all situated, and it said that Pharaoh sent what it said. If I can find it again here, hold on. Pharaoh sent wagons, if I can find it again. I was just really weirded out by the fact it said wagons. Here it is. Wagons. Right there. So, if we can mark that or not. I'm not used to doing it on the camera. Anyway, so yeah, wagons. Yet again, some kind of pioneer-like language that's just really bizarre. I don't know what the King James says, but it also says wagons. The only language I remember the Bible using was like carts or ox carts or chariots or things like that. I don't ever remember it saying wagons, though that's a new one for me. I don't know about you all, but I can't remember what chapter that is. I guess it's 45, it looks like. Let me see what the NIV says. 45. Try not to be so herky-jerky with all this stuff. But I'm not like an aficionado at making videos, so. That even says attendance there. I don't know if it says anything about sending wagons. I don't know if you guys see it or not, but I'm not seeing it. Where did it say wagons? Number 19. Let's see, 19. Where is 19? This thing's a little harder to see because it's such fine print. Yeah, carts. There it is. It actually says carts. You can see that or not. That's kind of weird. So anyway, it says carts like what I remember. So the NIV is correct. But this one says wagons. Again, sounds kind of like the pioneer stuff. I made a video before about Abraham sounding like a pioneer. Telling him to wait while we go over yonder. And I'm like, over yonder? Let me see what this Geneva Bible says. It might say something more interesting. Therefore he came and communed at the door of his house. This Bible's actually a little harder to read. Yep, it says carts in this very archaic language. But as you can see, it does say chariots, whatever that is. But like I said, this is a very old, this was printed in like 1560, so that was their version of saying carts. I don't know why they add a lot of extra letters, but anyway, just thought y'all would find that interesting. Thank you for watching.